it's Pat.
You're listening to Trot's Life on SEN Track with Toby McKinnon. Brought to you by Garrard's Horse and Hound. Best range at the lowest prices.
Welcome back to Trot's Life with Toby McKinnon. And now Noel Watson's on the line. Noel, firstly, mate, how are you today and whereabouts are you? In happy Swan Hill, I'd imagine.
Mate, we call it sunny Swan Hill. Thank you, Toby. Yeah, welcome along. How you going?
Yeah, very good, mate. Now, firstly, let's clear up. You're definitely a St Kilda supporter, aren't you?
Yes, mate. You can be well assured of that one. The Pacers wear it and the Gallopers wear it. And, I wear a St Kilda cap. You are spot on.
Yeah, very good. Now, I've got you on. We want to talk about Torrid Saint. Is it? I said to you briefly yesterday on the phone, it's not too often in a Victoria Cup someone that bred the horse still owns it, but actually 5 of the 13 runners on Saturday's Victoria Cup are owned by the person that bred them either in full or part. And Torrid Saint, we'll go right back into the story of Torrid Saint and how he came about, but you must be pretty excited to have a runner in the Victoria Cup, particularly drawing the pole and particularly a chance.
Well, the drawing the pole, that's the big advantage, obviously, and I'd like to thank whoever it is at HRV for putting us in the field because I tell you what, it's just it's an amazing feeling to be invited to go in it or chosen, whatever the expression is. But I mean, we're the lowest rater when you have a look at them, Toby. And I was really nervous when they were doing the barrier draw, and I can tell you because they're pulling out all these low numbers, and I thought, they're all gone. And anyway, it was a bit stressful, but mate, you can only do what you can do. And my dear old mum from up above, I'm sure she was having some divine intervention. She got us number 1, which is fantastic.
Now, to be totally dreamy, and you'll know the reference here, would you rather win the Owen? Yes. Would you rather win the Owen Cup, the Port Cup, or the Victoria Cup?
Mate, I'll just sneak in the Victoria Cup. It's just a peg or two. With great respect to the other 2 cups, I will just sneak it in ever so slightly in advance of those.
So in 2004, you combined with Jack O'Brien with Totally Dreamy to win the Port and the Owen Cups for those playing along at home. Now,
yes. Got him from Darryl Graham, actually up in Queensland. Good mate of mine.
Yeah, it must be a good mate of yours because you also sort of waxed lyrical with him with a horse called Just Speedy who won the 4-year-old mares up there as well.
Yeah, I took it up a long time ago, and I didn't know anybody up there. In fact, the mare was in the paddock, and I rang up Queensland. They put me in touch with Darryl, and he said, yeah, go bring her up. I said, mate, she's still in the paddock. Oh, anyway, cut a long story short, over the next, 25, 30 years, we've had some fun times, really fun times with. Basically, Toby, we started with certainly Just Speedy, but from then on, I developed a little plan where we worked on claiming races, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Now, you sort of had a go at breeding with Just Speedy, and I won't put you through the torture going through her breeding career. And then in 2005, Dr. Greg Anderson, who was Lee Everson's main owner at the time, he had a mare up for sale, Torridon, and you purchased her. I think you did direct and won 3 races with her up there, and then you took her to stud.
Yep, I spoke to Lee quite much at length, if you like, about her. Because I specifically wanted to get her because I thought she would be a perfect cross for Grin from ear to ear. And as it turned out, we know the result. But I just, at that stage, I had little else to do. I mean, I was only doing 14 different things at one time, but I was also checking out all the breeding stuff, and I just thought, she's got to be a good cross for this Grin from ear to ear. So anyway, that's why I bought her. And I think Shane and Greg were training at that stage, and they won a few races, and the rest, as I say, is history. Fantastic.
So you picked the stallion out and then said, right, I want a Grin from ear to ear. And I said Happy Swan Hill, so that makes sense. You picked the stallion out, then you thought, now I need a mare that's a good cross to it.
Yep, that's how it worked. Absolutely. I worked backwards, and I worked out that I needed, a mare, and then, as I said, spoke to Lee, and he told me all about her and all the rest of it. He was fantastic. He probably won't remember, but great bloke, and really helped me out and, set the path. So she's been a lovely mare. I mean, she's left, 7 or 8, 9 winners or something?
9 foals have raced. The first 9 have raced. The others are only young horses. 8 winners, 80 wins. And that first foal was St. Flash by Grin from ear to ear. 27 wins and 285,000. So it was somewhat of a genius stroke by yourself.
Oh, thank you very much, Toby. You can ring any time you like, young man. No, he was an absolute gun of a horse. And to this day, I will not ever forget he won the first ever cup on Swan Hill's new track. Eric Anderson said to me about 2 months before, he said, you'll win the cup with this horse. And I said, oh, yeah, of course, the old story. And it still brings a tear to my eye just to see him go over the line. I was actually standing on the infield because, as you know, I'm a track attendant at Swan Hill. And I was standing on the infield and, unbelievable.
Now, Torrid Saint, he's such a funny horse, isn't he? 48 starts last season, and it was a bit of a longer season. 27 this season. So in 2 seasons, 75 starts, 9 wins and 20 placings. And he hasn't gone ba-boom, 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 bang, 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 here I am. He's just chipped away, and he bobs up, wins a race. A few more starts go by, bobs up, wins a race. And all of a sudden, here he is, drawn the pole in the Victoria Cup, and he's a chance.
Well, he's a live chance. Look, to be quite frank, I rate him probably 40 to 1 to win and maybe $3 a place. But having said that, it's the old story, mate. We've got a ticket in the raffle, and we're a chance because it's called racing, and you never know. But just to reiterate what you were saying there, you're right. He was, even from a young horse, he was not a big, bulky, mature, strong-looking thing. He was always super fast. Like, he was quick. But he just needed to strengthen up, and that's what I think the racing did. And I know that maybe sound counterproductive to a lot of people who follow horses, but, they say, I'll put him in the paddock and let him grow and all the rest. But I think the racing really stood him in good stead. And then, about early this year anyway, Eric rang me up and said, 3 or 4 weeks in the paddock, we bring him back and look out, and he's exactly how it happened. He's just turned the corner. I mean, he's got 152 last week and a bit in the smoking up and just got nutted.
Yeah. That's the only time off he's had in about 18 months. In February, he had a month off.
Yep.
That's about it in 18 months.
But I tell you what, it's interesting, and people will laugh at this, but say you race on Saturday night, the Sunday morning, you go down and have a look at him. He is spread out, sprawled out in his box, in his yard, sound asleep. It's like he's snoring away. He doesn't get up, doesn't wake up. He's just snoring away, and then gets up and eats, and away he goes again. Unbelievable.
There's an element to the way he's driven in his races as well. He's never given a real he may have been, but a lot of Julie Douglas's horses don't get gut busters. They're always driven conservatively, and there's always next week. So there'll be a lot of runs where he runs a 5th or a 6th, and there might have been an opportunity to go 3 wide and up into the chair, and you might win that race. But I think that preserves the horse, that style of driving, and allows them to race week after week after week, like so many of Julie's horses do.
Toby, thank you for the observation, because I've been asked about that. And even if you go back to the Kilmore Cup, I know it's a tough race. We were back on the fence, but you have a look at his closing speed and all the rest of it. That's how you've got to drive them, and mate, they can't win every time. So you've just got to look after the horse a little bit. I mean, it'd be nice if they did, but fair enough if we're a King of Swing who does it pretty regularly, or a Amazing Dream or something. But for the rest of us, we get our turn a little bit, and you have to do that. And I go back to when I first started with a really terrific bloke in Henry McDermott. Henry's philosophy a little bit was, if you drive for a place, it's amazing how many times the race will open up for you and you get a winning chance as well. And I think that still stands pretty strong.
So if you're going back to starting with Henry McDermott, you started in 88. Did he have a horse called Gosh about then?
Mate, that's my absolute number one. I actually got to drive an Inter Dominion place getter.
Gosh.
And then I need to say in work. But yeah, I did. I drove him in work at Henry's place. Terrific fella, Henry and Shirley and the boys, of course. Graham and John, and just unbelievable people. Terry, their daughter.
How I remember that when I was 7 at the time, I'm not 100% sure, but let's not worry about that fact. Now, talking Inter Dominions, I didn't check. Is he nominated for the Inter Dominion, and is that somewhat of a plan?
Absolutely no idea, mate. I have no say whatsoever in the planning of this. I just sit back and enjoy the ride. I don't know the answer to that. I know St. Flash went around in a heat at the Inter. Didn't go so good, but anyway, it's all good. But to be quite frank, I don't really know.
All right. Well, Noel, best of luck on Saturday night. If you're a licensed stable hand and you're able to go and assist.
I'm all of the above, but I'd like to play things by the book, and I won't even press the issue. I'd love to be there as long as everybody, same as everybody. But let's not press the envelope, Toby. We are in a very, very sacred place, and that is called racing. We're still racing. Let's preserve it.
Yep, very well said, Noel. And thank you for coming on, and best of luck to me mate Rats and the boys next year, and hopefully the Bulldogs and Saints play from the grand final next year, and you can beat us. You can beat us and break your hoodoo as well.
Yeah, well, my sister won't be happy. She's a Bulldog supporter, but that'll be 2 in a row. But thanks for having me on, and all the best to everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Noel. There's Noel Watson, who Presents himself so well. He does a bit of a radio show.
Glad he goes for the Saints because we got to stick together through these tough times. Now 55 years, and probably going to continue for a while.
And my eyebrow, survives.
Yeah.
Now, for those that didn't hear the start of the show, that would sound quite abnormal to be saying that, JD.
Yeah.
Now, the second half of the show, Garrick Knight takes on Jason Bonington on the presumption that Jason answers his phone. That is, we all know where that sits in the chances of life when you ring him.
Well, the chances are it won't be charged either, so
it
doesn't charge it up all that much. But anyway, let's wait and see. We've got time.
Yep. So second half of the show, we'll have the quiz, Garrick Knight v Jason Bonington. Garrick's going to stay on and we might have a bit of a chat about his thoughts on some of the feature races on Saturday night. And then we'll have a bit of a look at 5ab28 in a similar fashion to how we just spoke to Noel and a bit of the story on Torrid Saint and Torridon, and let's talk to Shannon Nixon about the story behind 5ab28. And interestingly, Torrid Saint will probably be on the leader's back. We think that's a fairly good chance, and 5ab28 might be 3 back the fence, and they're the positions that a lot of the time fill the placings, and if not the win in a race like this. When we go back to when we had Craig Demler on 5 weeks ago, and Breeny's fella won the race, he came from a sit sprint position, and that was a race where I don't think we'll ever get a Victoria Cup quite that way again. I'm happy to argue with anybody until the dark hours of the night about that. Was the one of the great races. They often win from the front as well, so it'll be very interesting to see who leads this race on Saturday night. I don't know who it will be. It's just too hard for me to tell. I did have an interesting theory, which if Jason's on tomorrow, I'll put to him about Mary Law, and I've got a very interesting question. I think Majestuoso has a better chance of winning the race if Mary Law leads. This is a question I'll let you ponder and think about, because if Mary Law leads and crosses Pink Galahs and Majestuoso works to the front, it puts Pink Galahs 3 back the fence. So if Kate Gath or Andy Gath are listening, just toy with that in your mind for a moment or two and see if they agree with that. But we'll put that to Jason tomorrow if he's on the show. Let's take a break, JD. We'll get the news away with a big second hour coming up.